Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
Have you ever wondered why some people rise to success while others, with the same resources, never quite make it? What's the hidden difference that separates winners from the rest? And more importantly, could it be something you already have within your reach? The truth is, the real key to success isn't resources, drive, or even luck. Those matter, yes, but the major key is philosophy, how you think. Your philosophy shapes your attitude. Your attitude directs your actions create your results, and those results ultimately shape your destiny. So let me ask you, how disciplined is your thinking right now? Because undisciplined thinking always leads to undisciplined actions, and those actions create undisciplined results. Here's something profound. Most people have no idea how much their own thinking sabotages their success. They point to the economy, their boss, their spouse, their parents, or even their lack of education. They blame everything except the one thing they fully control, their own thoughts, the very garden of their mind. Think of your mind as a garden. What happens if you don't tend it, don't pull the weeds, don't plant good seeds, or don't water it? The weeds take over, and soon it's a complete mess. Your mind works the same way. If you don't consciously plant positive, productive thoughts and remove the negative, limiting ones, your mind quickly fills with weeds, doubts, fears, excuses, rationalizations. These mental weeds choke out every possibility of success. Some people's minds are so overgrown they wouldn't recognize an opportunity even if it struck them in the face. And that's tragic. Here's what you must understand. Your life always moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. If your thoughts are mostly negative, your life heads downward. If they are confused, your results will be confused. But when your thoughts are clear, disciplined, and focused on what you truly want, that's where your life goes. Upward, forward, towards success, happiness, and fulfillment. And this brings us to something dangerous spreading in society, a disease I call excuses, the failure disease. The habit of making excuses is one of the most destructive patterns you can fall into. Excuses like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't know the right people. I don't have the right education. I wasn't raised in the right neighborhood. The economy is bad. My boss doesn't like me. But here's the truth. Successful people don't make excuses, they make progress. They find solutions, they solve problems, and they take full responsibility. The moment you give in to excuses, you surrender your power. You hand over your ability to change your life, and you start believing your circumstances are stronger than you. That's simply not true. Everyone faces challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. The difference is that some let those circumstances define them, while others define themselves by how they respond. That, my friends, is the real line between success and failure. Not your circumstances, but your response. And that response begins with your thinking. Disciplined thinking starts with awareness. So how do we begin? By becoming aware of what we're thinking. Most people never take this step. They let their thoughts wander aimlessly and then wonder why their lives feel chaotic. Disciplined thinking means stepping into the role of gatekeeper for your own mind. It's asking yourself, is this thought serving me or sabotaging me? Is it moving me closer to what I want or pulling me further away? Imagine standing at the door of your mind with a clipboard, checking every thought as it enters. What's your purpose? Are you here to help or to harm? Only the useful ones are allowed in. That's where mental discipline begins. And once you start paying attention, you'll be shocked at how many negative, limiting, self-defeating thoughts try to enter your mind each day. Thoughts like, I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I don't have enough experience. What if I fail? What will people think? These thoughts flood in like a relentless storm. If we're not careful, those negative thoughts slip in, set up camp, and begin running the show. And that's when life starts spiraling downhill. One of the most powerful tools for disciplining your mind is the power of questions. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of the questions you consistently ask yourself. Most people ask terrible ones. Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I catch a break? Why is life so hard? Who's to blame? Those kinds of questions only lead to lousy answers and lousy results. Instead, try asking better questions. What can I learn from this? How can I use it to my advantage? What's good about this challenge? Where's the opportunity? How can I turn this into a win? These kinds of questions create empowering answers, and empowering answers create empowering results. Here's one I love. What would the person I want to become do in this situation? Think about it. If you want to be financially successful, ask, what would a financially successful person do with their money right now? If you want to be healthy and fit, ask, what would a healthy, fit person eat for lunch today? The answers to these questions guide you toward becoming that person. That's disciplined thinking in action. Another key to disciplined thinking is being intentional about the company you keep. You might ask, what does that have to do with my thinking? The answer is everything. We become like the people we spend the most time with. Their attitudes, beliefs, and habits rub off on us. It's like osmosis, you can't avoid it. So if you surround yourself with negative, cynical, complaining people, your thinking will become negative, cynical, and complaining too, even if you don't realize it. If you truly want disciplined thinking, you must choose to spend time with people who think the way you want to think. Positive, productive, and purposeful people who push you to grow, improve, and become better. I'm not saying you need to abandon old friends, but you must be deliberate about who influences your mind, because their influence is powerful. The people around you will influence your thinking whether you realize it or not. There's an old saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I'd add this. If you're the most disciplined thinker in your circle, it's time to find a new circle. Your input determines your output. Let's talk about the information you're feeding your mind, because what goes in always shapes what comes out. If you're constantly consuming negative news, violent entertainment, mindless social media, and shallow conversations, what do you think that does to your thinking? It makes it negative, violent, shallow, and unfocused. You can't expect disciplined, productive thoughts if you're filling your mind with undisciplined, unproductive information. So ask yourself, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you talking to? These are not harmless choices. They are programming choices. Every piece of information you consume is literally programming your mind. That's why you must be selective and deliberate about what you allow in. Read books that inspire, educate, and challenge you. Listen to podcasts or programs that expand your perspective, introduce fresh ideas, and help you grow. Have meaningful conversations. Talk about dreams, goals, ideas, and opportunities, not just problems, gossip, or the weather. What you feed your mind determines what your mind produces. It really is that simple. Another powerful tool for disciplined thinking is visualization. The conscious, deliberate use of your imagination to create vivid mental pictures of what you want. The truth is, most people misuse this tool. They imagine everything that could go wrong, every possible failure, and every reason they can't succeed. That's an undisciplined use of imagination. Instead, use it to your advantage. Picture yourself succeeding. See yourself achieving your goals. Imagine living the life you truly desire. And here's the key. Don't just see the images, feel them. Feel what it would be like to achieve those goals, to live that life, to experience that success. This isn't some kind of new age trick. It's simply how the human brain works. Your brain cannot distinguish between something vividly imagined and something actually experienced. That's why visualization is so powerful. When you consistently imagine your goals with detail and emotion, you're programming your subconscious mind to search for opportunities to make that vision real. You align your thinking with your goals, disciplining your mind to focus on what you want instead of what you don't. Another powerful tool for disciplining your thoughts is the practice of affirmations, positive statements you repeat out loud with conviction several times a day. Now, I know some of you may think, isn't that silly? Talking to myself in the mirror. But let me ask, how is that any sillier than standing there telling yourself all the reasons you can't succeed, why you're not good enough, or why life is too hard? Because that's exactly what most people do every single day. They don't call them affirmations, but they are negative affirmations. Positive affirmations are a way to consciously override that destructive self-talk. Statements like, I am worthy, I am capable, I am making progress every day. I have everything I need to succeed. I am attracting opportunities. I am becoming the person I want to be. These are not magic spells. They are reminders, tools to redirect your thinking toward what helps you rather than what harms you. And here's the key. When you repeat them with real emotion, when you feel the truth in those words, they begin to sink into your subconscious. Your subconscious starts to believe them, and once it does, it searches for evidence to back them up. When it finds that evidence, it strengthens the belief, and that belief shapes your actions. Your actions, in turn, create your results. That's how affirmations work, plain and simple. Affirmations don't work by magic, but by aligning your conscious and subconscious mind with what you truly want to create in life. Another powerful discipline for your thinking is gratitude, the habit of deliberately searching for things to be thankful for. Sadly, most people do the opposite. They focus on what frustrates them, what makes them angry, and what feels unfair. And of course, they always find it, because whatever you look for, you will surely see. But when you discipline your mind to look for reasons to be grateful, you'll discover those as well. The more you practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes, until it begins shaping your entire outlook on life. Start each morning by naming 3 things you're thankful for. End your day the same way. Keep a gratitude journal. Share your gratitude with others. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It's about training your mind to see the good alongside the bad, the blessings alongside the challenges, the opportunities alongside the obstacles. That's true mental discipline, and it can change everything. Another crucial discipline is focus, the ability to direct your mental energy toward what matters most. Most people scatter their attention everywhere. They think about work while they're with family, worry about family problems while they're at work, dwell on the past, and stress over the future. Rarely do they give their full attention to the present moment. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to average results in every area of life. Disciplined thinking means being fully present where you are. It means giving your complete attention to what you're doing right now. It's choosing to focus on one important task at a time instead of juggling many things poorly. In today's distracted world, focus is a superpower. The person who can concentrate their mental energy on one meaningful goal, one vital task, or one pressing problem gains a tremendous advantage. But focus doesn't come naturally. It requires discipline. It requires training your mind to stay on task, resist distractions, and hold steady until the job is done. Training your mind to focus is like training a puppy. When it wanders, you gently bring it back. No judgment, no frustration, just a steady redirection to what matters most. Do this enough times, and your mind learns to stay where you place it. That is mental discipline. Another essential aspect of disciplined thinking is long-term vision, the ability to weigh the future consequences of today's choices. Most people don't do this. They act for instant gratification, immediate comfort, or short-term convenience, without considering how those decisions will affect them a year from now, 5 years from now, or even a decade later. That's undisciplined thinking, and it almost always leads to regret. Disciplined thinking asks, how will this choice shape my future? Is it moving me closer to my long-term goals or pulling me away? Am I sacrificing what I want most for what I want right now? It means being willing to endure short-term discomfort for long-term reward. It means saying no to good things so you can say yes to great things. It means planting seeds today that will grow into trees of abundance tomorrow, instead of picking the low-hanging fruit of fleeting pleasure. This kind of thinking is rare, but it's the hallmark of extraordinary lives. Another powerful discipline is possibility thinking, the habit of looking beyond obstacles and searching for solutions, opportunities, and paths forward. Most people default to problem thinking. They dwell on what's wrong, what's broken, what's standing in their way. And while acknowledging problems is necessary, too many people stop there. They identify with the problem, talk endlessly about it, even become experts on it, but never move toward a solution. Disciplined thinking acknowledges the problem, yes, but quickly shifts the focus to possibilities. Given this situation, what can I do? What are my options? Where's the opportunity? How can I turn this around? That mindset transforms roadblocks into stepping stones. Possibility thinking doesn't mean denying reality. It's about productive thinking, directing your mental energy toward what you can control, what you can change, and what you can create. Problems drain energy, but possibilities generate it. And that energy is what fuels progress. Now let's talk about another essential discipline, decisiveness. This is the ability to make clear, confident decisions and stand by them. Most people struggle with this. They hesitate, overthink, second-guess, delay, and constantly change their minds. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to confusion, missed opportunities, and stalled progress. Disciplined thinking gathers the necessary information, weighs the options, makes the best possible choice, and then moves forward with confidence. It means accepting that sometimes you'll be wrong, because we all are, but understanding that indecision is often worse than a wrong decision. At least a wrong choice teaches you something. Indecision teaches you nothing and gets you nowhere. It also means refusing to let fear paralyze you. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, fear of making the wrong choice. These are the traps that keep so many people stuck in endless hesitation. True decisiveness also requires persistence, sticking with your decisions long enough to see if they work, rather than abandoning them at the first sign of difficulty. That's what disciplined thinking looks like. Another vital discipline is learning, the commitment to continuous growth. Most people stop learning when they leave school. Sure, they may pick up bits and pieces along the way, but they lack a deliberate, systematic approach to building new knowledge and skills. In today's rapidly changing world, that's a recipe for being left behind. Disciplined thinking embraces lifelong learning. It means carving out time each day to read, study, practice, and improve. It requires humility, the recognition that there is always more to learn, always room to grow, always a higher level to reach. It also means seeking out teachers, mentors, and coaches who can accelerate your progress faster than you could manage on your own. Disciplined learning also means recognizing that everyone you meet knows something you don't. Be willing to learn from them. And remember, knowledge without action is just information. Knowledge with action becomes power. That's mental discipline. Now let's talk about the discipline of clarity, the habit of being crystal clear about what you want and why you want it. Most people are vague about their goals, uncertain about their priorities, and unclear about their values. That lack of clarity shows up in their results. As the saying goes, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And too many people are on just any road, wondering why they haven't arrived anywhere meaningful. Disciplined thinking means taking time to define what matters most: your core values, your biggest goals, your personal definition of success, and your purpose. It means writing these things down, reviewing them regularly, refining them as you grow, and using them as filters for every decision. When you're clear about what matters, choices become easier. Time management becomes easier. Saying no becomes easier, because you have a standard to measure every opportunity, every invitation, and every distraction. Clarity is power, and disciplined thinking creates clarity. Another critical discipline is consistency, the ability to show up, do the work, and stay the course day after day, even when you don't feel like it. Most people are inconsistent. They start strong and then stop. They get excited, then distracted. They go all in, then all out. They're hot and cold, up and down, on and off. That's undisciplined thinking, and it produces mediocre results at best. Disciplined thinking means committing to consistent action toward your goals no matter how you feel. It means showing up even when motivation isn't there. It means doing the work even when it's no longer exciting. And it means understanding that real success isn't built on bursts of intensity. It's built on steady, consistent effort. Consistency is not about doing something extraordinary once. It's about doing something good repeatedly. As I often say, you don't need to be amazing. You just need to be consistent. Consistency itself leads to amazement. That's mental discipline. Another crucial discipline is responsibility, the habit of taking 100% ownership of your life, your choices, and your results. Most people are quick to take credit for their successes, but even quicker to blame others for their failures. They blame circumstances, bad luck, other people, the economy, even the weather. Anything but their own decisions. That's undisciplined thinking, and it's the fastest way to give up your power and stay stuck. Disciplined thinking accepts that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. And it's your response that determines your results. Responsibility means letting go of blame, excuses, and justifications. It's asking, what can I do about this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? The moment you take responsibility, you take back control. And control of your responses is the only real control you'll ever have. That's mental discipline. Now let's talk about another key, emotion management. This is the ability to feel your emotions without letting them control you. Most people are at the mercy of their emotional states. When they feel motivated, they act. When they don't, they stop. When they feel confident, they move forward. When they're afraid, they retreat. They let emotions dictate behavior, which means their results are as inconsistent as their moods. That's undisciplined thinking. a roller coaster that never leads to success. Disciplined thinking recognizes that emotions are part of being human, but they don't belong in the driver's seat. You can acknowledge fear and still move forward. You can feel lazy and still get to work. You can feel discouraged and still take the next step. That's the power of managing your emotions instead of being ruled by them. Emotional discipline also means developing awareness, the ability to recognize what you're feeling and why. It means building emotional intelligence, the power to choose how you respond to those feelings. And it means cultivating positive states of mind through deliberate practices like gratitude, visualization, affirmations, exercise, and rest. You don't need to feel good to take action, but let's be honest, it certainly helps. That's mental discipline. Another vital discipline is patience, the ability to delay gratification, stay the course, and trust the process even when results don't show up right away. Most people want instant success, instant wealth, instant transformation. And when it doesn't happen quickly, they quit. They chase shortcuts, jump to the next thing, or blame the process instead of their lack of persistence. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to unfinished projects, abandoned goals, and wasted potential. Disciplined thinking understands that anything truly valuable takes time. It means embracing the journey as much as the destination. It means finding joy in progress, not just in results. It's being willing to do the work today without expecting the payoff tomorrow, next week, or even next year, because you know success is built choice by choice, action by action, day by day. As I often say, you can't hire someone else to do your push-ups. The process is the point. The discipline is the reward. The journey itself is where the transformation happens. That's mental discipline. Now let's talk about another key, the discipline of optimism. This is the habit of expecting and looking for the best possible outcomes. Optimism means looking for good outcomes even in difficult situations. Most people, however, are reactive to circumstances. When life goes well, they feel good. When things go poorly, they feel bad. Their emotions rise and fall with conditions, leaving them stuck on a roller coaster, because conditions always change. That's undisciplined thinking, and it hands over your power to external circumstances. Disciplined thinking chooses optimism regardless of what's happening. It means training your mind to look for opportunities in every situation, to find the silver lining in every cloud, to see failures as feedback and problems as challenges. This doesn't mean denying reality or pretending problems don't exist. It means facing problems with the belief that solutions are possible and that you can find them. Optimism isn't just a pleasant way to live, it's a strategic advantage. Optimistic people see opportunities that pessimists miss. They try what pessimists avoid. They persist when pessimists quit. And here's the truth, optimism is a choice. It's a mental discipline, a way of thinking you can strengthen through practice, just like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. That's mental discipline. Another crucial discipline is thinking big, the habit of setting ambitious goals, dreaming beyond limits, and refusing to shrink your vision to fit your circumstances. Most people think small. They set goals based only on what seems realistic, reasonable, or achievable. And while that sounds practical, there's a hidden problem. Their version of realistic is based on their past, not their potential. It's tied to what they've already done, not what they're truly capable of. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to small goals, small results, and small lives. Disciplined thinking gives you permission to go beyond your past, beyond your current situation, beyond what seems reasonable. It asks questions like, what would I attempt if I knew I couldn't fail? What could I do if I had unlimited resources? Who might I become if I tapped into my full potential? It means setting goals that stretch you, goals that scare you a little, or maybe a lot. Thinking big requires you to grow, to develop new skills, and to become someone stronger than you are today. It means refusing to let your past define your future, refusing to let setbacks shrink your dreams, and refusing to let other people's limited thinking limit what you believe is possible. That's mental discipline. Another essential discipline is reflection, the habit of regularly reviewing your progress, evaluating results, and learning from your experiences. Most people just keep going without pause. They rarely stop to assess what's working, what's not, what they've learned, or how they should adjust. They're so busy doing that they never step back to evaluate the effectiveness of their efforts. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to repeated mistakes, missed lessons, and wasted energy. Disciplined thinking makes time for reflection, daily, weekly, or monthly. It asks powerful questions. What's working well? What's not? What have I learned? What needs to change? What should I start, stop, or continue doing? It's about celebrating wins, acknowledging progress, learning from setbacks, and course-correcting when necessary. Most importantly, it requires honesty, no excuses, no rationalizations, no blame. Just clear-eyed evaluation. What do these results reveal about my approach, my thinking, and my actions? That's mental discipline. Another crucial discipline is simplicity, the habit of focusing on what's essential and eliminating what's not. Most people's thinking is cluttered, complicated, and overloaded with information, opinions, options, and commitments. They try to juggle too many goals, chase too many problems, and do too many things at once. The result? Scattered focus, rising stress, and poor outcomes. That's undisciplined thinking, and it breeds confusion and overwhelm. Disciplined thinking cuts through the noise to focus on what truly matters. It asks, what's the single most important thing I need to accomplish today? What one goal will create the biggest difference in my life right now? What's essential, and what can be eliminated? Simplicity also means learning to say no to good opportunities so you can say yes to great ones. It means ruthlessly cutting out distractions, busy work, and low-value activities. And it means seeking clarity through simplicity. As I often say, confusion can be the first step toward clarity. But only if you're willing to move through it, eliminate the excess, and focus on what truly matters. That's mental discipline. Now let's talk about the discipline of self-talk, the constant conversation you have with yourself about your life, your challenges, and your abilities. For most people, that self-talk is negative, limiting, and self-defeating. They continually tell themselves why they can't, why they shouldn't, why they're not good enough, smart enough, talented enough, or experienced enough. They become their own worst critics and their own worst enemies. That's undisciplined thinking, and it sabotages success more than any external obstacle ever could. Disciplined thinking means becoming aware of your inner dialogue and deliberately choosing words that empower instead of weaken you. It's about replacing "I can't" with "how can I?" Changing "this is too hard" into "this is challenging, but I'm growing." Transforming "I'm not good at this" into "I'm getting better every time I try." It also means speaking to yourself with the same kindness, encouragement, and patience you'd offer a close friend or a beloved child. Not with false praise or empty affirmations, but with genuine belief in your ability to learn, to grow, and to overcome. And yes, it means catching yourself when you slip into negative self-talk, because we all do. What matters is redirecting it before it takes root. Disciplined self-talk means gently redirecting your thoughts back to what serves you, rather than what sabotages you. That's mental discipline. Another crucial practice is what I call future self-thinking, the habit of making decisions based on who you want to become, not just who you are right now. Most people make choices rooted in their current identity, their present comfort, their existing skills and beliefs. They let who they are today dictate who they'll be tomorrow. That's undisciplined thinking, and it leads to stagnation instead of growth. Disciplined thinking looks beyond the present. It asks, is this choice aligned with the future I want to create? Will my future self thank me for this decision? Am I acting from my current limitations or from my future possibilities? It means being willing to feel uncomfortable now for the sake of growth, trying things you're not yet good at, and investing in skills you don't yet have but want to develop. It also means recognizing that the true purpose of goals isn't just to achieve something. It's to become someone more capable, confident, and impactful. Someone who can not only reach today's goals, but also set and achieve even greater ones. That's mental discipline. Now let's talk about the power of prayer and meditation in disciplining your thinking. These ancient practices have been used by successful people throughout history to quiet their minds, focus their thoughts, and connect with something greater than themselves. Prayer is communion with the divine. It's acknowledging that there is wisdom and power beyond your limited perspective. It's seeking guidance, expressing gratitude, and asking for help, not only for yourself, but for others. Meditation is the practice of being fully present, of quieting the constant chatter of the mind, of observing your thoughts without clinging to them or being controlled by them. Both prayer and meditation strengthen mental discipline. They help you step back from the endless stream of thoughts and choose which ones deserve your focus and energy. They create space between stimulus and response, space where clarity, wisdom, and discipline can grow. Between stimulus and response lies a space, the space where freedom and choice reside. That's why I encourage you to build a daily habit of prayer and meditation. It doesn't need to be long. Even a few minutes can make a profound difference. The key is consistency. The discipline of setting aside time each day to quiet your mind, center yourself, and connect with your highest values and deepest wisdom. That is true mental discipline. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this thought. The quality of your life is not determined by your circumstances, your background, or your resources. It's determined by your thinking. And the quality of your thinking depends on the disciplines you practice. Not occasionally, not only when it's convenient, but every single day. Disciplined thinking isn't easy. If it were, everyone would do it. But it's worth it. Disciplined thinking creates disciplined actions, and disciplined actions create extraordinary results. The choice is yours. It always has been. You can let your thinking run wild, reactive, scattered, and unfocused, or you can take control, discipline it, direct it, and focus it on what you truly want. That choice, whether or not you discipline your thinking, will determine everything else in your life. So I ask you, what will you choose? What mental disciplines will you commit to developing starting today? What new habits of thought will you cultivate? What old patterns will you change? Your future is waiting for your answer. And I believe in you. I believe in your capacity to choose wisely, to grow, and to become everything you are capable of becoming. Thank you for your time and attention today. Stay healthy, stay happy, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily.